Every night at exactly 11:47, the streetlight outside Jonah's window flickered, not off, not on, but into something in between. It was during that thin moment that the lost and found hour began. Jonah discovered it by accident. He had been awake too late, sitting on his bed, holding a sock that had lost its pair years ago. When the light flickered, the room softened, as though the edges of things had forgotten how sharp they were meant to be. Then the sock in his hand grew warm. A quiet knock followed. Outside his door stood a narrow cart on wheels, piled high with objects that looked familiar in an uncomfortable way. Keys that no longer fit any lock, notebooks half-filled and abandoned, toys missing essential pieces, photographs with faces blurred by memory rather than time. Behind the cart stood a man with a bell that never rang unless shaken gently. Lost something? The man asked. Jonah wanted to say no. Instead, he said, "I think so." The man smiled, as if that were the correct answer. Everyone has. The hour is short. Look carefully. Jonah searched the cart. He found the sock's pair, but when he reached for it, the man shook his head. That one's already learned how to be alone. Further down, Jonah saw other things, confidence he'd misplaced in school, a laugh he stopped using because someone mocked it, the version of himself that once believed adults knew what they were doing. Each item hummed faintly, heavy with remembering. What happens if I take something back? Jonah asked. You get it, the man said simply, but you also get what comes with it. Jonah hesitated, then picked up something small and almost invisible, a pause. Not a thing exactly. More like a breath he'd been holding since a long ago mistake. The streetlight flickered again. The cart began to fade. Will you come back tomorrow? Jonah asked. The man shook the bell once, very softly. Only if you lose something new. When the light returned to normal, Jonah was alone in his room. The sock lay unchanged in his hand. The pause, however, settled gently into his chest. The next day, Jonah spoke more slowly. He listened longer. He forgave himself a little, without making a big ceremony of it. At 11:47 that night, the streetlight flickered again, but Jonah stayed in bed. Some things, he realized, were meant to be found only once. Outside, the lost and found hour rolled quietly down the street, its cart a little lighter than before,